What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home. A very good evening to you and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Now, before we get into your stories in detail, let's take a quick look at your headlines for tonight.
Revelations about a smuggle to export sand mixed with gold evading tariffs.
This has happened for last few years, and we have a big doubt about the exporting this soil with mixed gold.
Met Department forecasts extreme heat during the next 2 days. Sri Lankans are ready for the dawn of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Pudnakalaya to begin at 7:45 a.m. tomorrow. Traders in Pamanuwa, Maharagama who carry out their business activities put their life at risk. Indian elections moves to Tamil Nadu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks of Sri Lanka during his speech.
We must continue working for the prosperity of our Sri Lankan Tamil brothers.
First up in local news now, last August, Newsfirst exposed a scam where sand mixed with gold was being smuggled out of the country. The details we revealed then have been confirmed in a special audit report.
Newsfirst reported on the 4th of August 2018 that gold mixed by products disposed by 3 jewel manufacturing companies were due to be smuggled out of the country in the guise of exporting sand. We also reported that a number of containers carrying such gold-mixed sand were seized by custom officials. A special audit report on the matter has been made public. According to the report, 51 containers with gold-mixed sand were smuggled overseas through the customs. 23 containers were seized in 2017 on charges of attempting to smuggle gold fragments mixed with sand. 19 of the containers are still in the custody of the customs officials. The report further adds that the quantity of gold being smuggled after mixing with sand is more than the quantity of gold fragments being disposed by jewelry manufacturers. This attempt to smuggle gold out of the country in such a manner is conducted to evade tariffs on gold exports. The report revealed that the 51 containers were exported to countries including India, China, Korea, Thailand and Singapore, using a permit issued to export sand only to India. The audit report adds that the state institutions have failed to obtain samples of such exports and test them, and also inquire into the fact as to if such exports need special permits. What's the loss incurred by the country due to this?
They have to have a proper investigation and see what is the total damage or total loss exporting these containers, as well as how they have to react in future if there is a further export coming to the custom.
The Auditor General presented a number of conclusions that were reached on the incident.
Proper law has not been properly applied for exporting these containers, and so we have issued our report with several recommendations to the custom as well as GSMP.
It is the duty of all responsible parties to implement the recommendations of the Auditor General's report. It is also of great importance that the law be strictly enforced on the parties that should be held responsible.
And this has happened for last few years, and we have a big doubt about the exporting this soil with mixed gold, and basically 2 institutions are responsible for this issue. One is GSMP, other one is Sri Lanka Custom.
In more local news, the Department of Meteorology says that extreme heat weather conditions are expected in several parts of the country from today to the 15th of April. Now, issuing a communique on the extreme heat weather, the department stated that the general public should pay more attention to the matter.
Extreme heat weather conditions are expected in northwestern and north-central provinces as well as in Anuradhapura, Mana, Monaragala, Vavuniya and Bulletin districts from today to the 15th of April. In situations where high temperatures are experienced, we feel exhausted and we definitely feel the change of the temperature. Avoid places with extreme heat. Always try to find shelter and consume an adequate amount of water to stay hydrated. This will reduce the body temperature. It's very important to avoid being under the hot sun and avoid places with high temperature levels. By taking such measures, we can avoid unfavorable conditions which will arise due to the prevailing weather condition.
Has the prevailing extremely heat weather condition denied us from experiencing the fascination and wonders of nature, especially when the nation celebrates the Sinhala and Tamil New Year? Newsfirst John Fernando reports.
As you all know, at this moment, Sri Lanka as one celebrates the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. But aren't you and I missing something that we usually expect in this time period? Aren't you missing a cool breeze or a very favorable environment? Instead of a favorable environment, I'm correct if I say we are experiencing a much more uncomfortable environment due to this prevailing extremely hot weather. We are left with one question. Is this a red warning issued to us by the environment itself? At a scope where the world experiences an unexpected environmental transformation and climatic change, it's just to state that the future generations will have to accept this unfortunate fate. It's because the world has not created a better alternative to produce oxygen other than the trees. The destruction caused by the excuses in the guise of development or urbanization from the highest political hierarchy to the lowest point is evident in these satellite images. By 1882, the overall forest area in Sri Lanka was 82%, but right now it has significantly reduced up to 16.5%. This may be due to the rise in population, development, construction of major dams and highways and urbanization. Because of these reasons and many more, the forest reserves have significantly reduced. The World Food and Health Organization has ranked Sri Lanka as the 4th country with the highest rate of deforestation by 2010. We are holding the same position even now. Against such a backdrop where we are limited to mere terms as sustainable development and green economy, many development projects are underway turning a blind eye to the prevailing environmental crisis. In response to global climate change, Sri Lanka has come to many agreements to conserve the environment. We as a country have agreed to reach sustainable development goals. So at such a situation, we only see the convention in the practical implementation mechanism. At present, deforestation has reached to an alarming level. Mass development projects and urbanization is yet to increase. Wetlands in the country are being degraded. So we further advise to pay more attention to turn to methods which would safeguard the environment. It should be brought to attention that most of the environmental damage have been done by agricultural projects, multi-purpose irrigational projects, tourism projects and power and industrial projects. 5,000 hectares of land have been allocated just for the Sampur coal power plant and for the industrial park project. Isn't the end result of this is simply the loss of opportunities for the future generations? Compared to places with more buildings and no trees, even in the same city there's a significant difference of temperature up to 3 degrees. It's a well-proved fact that when city planning, if we turn to designs with the use of more trees, the temperature could be controlled at some level. On the other hand, we have the issue pertaining to the lack of water. With that issue, there is an electricity crisis. We can observe that certain areas which once was rich with water resources have now reduced the freshwater content. Even the sources which contribute to maintaining the freshwater levels of the island have faced a worst-case scenario. And due to the very little attention we pay for soil conservation, the ability to retain water in the hill country has also now reduced. According to Dr. Rachel Kasal, in the future we will not experience much of an exciting change during this time of the year. A week ago, the highest temperature in Sri Lanka so far was recorded at 42 degrees Celsius. If this increases by another 8 degrees in another 10 years, there won't be any paddy for rice or fresh mangoes to enjoy. Like the people in Telangana, India, the people of Sri Lanka will have to die due to the increase of temperature. We can see signs of this fate. We breathe around 20 times a minute, but we cut down the trees which provide us with that fresh breath. This new year, gift your child a tree. So one day when we die, the plant which you gifted will provide air for your child to breathe.
Meanwhile, every city across the island, including Colombo, bustles with crowds failed to do their shopping for the Sinhala and Tamil New Year.
During this season, people residing in cities return to their hometown or village to celebrate the new year. The cities bustle with crowds who buy gifts for their loved ones, new clothes for every family member, and ingredients and utensils for the New Year celebrations.
අවුරුදු නම් කණ්ඩායම් වෙන්නේ මේ තියෙන බඩුවල ගණන් වල හැටියට. වරදක් නැහැ ඉතින් අපිට. අඩුයි රෙද්දි තියෙන ඕන තරම් ඕන විදිහට ගන්න. අවුරුදු ඉතින් යාන්තමින් ගෙනියනවා. අන්දු මිල්ලන් ගන්න වැඩි. ඒ වුණත් ඉතින් අපි ගන්න එපානේ.
The Sinhala and Tamil New Year is characterized by the many traditional treats such as kaum cookies and asmi, which inevitably have their own place in the New Year celebrations. Even though such treats are prepared in villages, those who reside in the city and its suburbs prefer to purchase such treats off the shelf. The auspicious time to light the hearth is 2:42 p.m. tomorrow. Boiling milk in a new clay pot and the preparation of milk rice during the auspicious time period are some of the most ancient Sinhala and Tamil New Year traditions.
Every parent dreams of providing their children with the very best this New Year season despite their economic status. We captured footage of a group of traders who carried out their businesses' activities while putting their life on the line.
The Fort Avisabella railway track that runs across the Maharagama town also runs through Pamanuwa, an area famous for its apparel. Many traders of ready-made clothing carry out their businesses here, inadvertently blocking the railway track in the process. These traders, who are well aware of the times at which trains travel along the track, can be seen removing their entire stall when a train passes through the area, and immediately after they set it up again. Although these businessmen put their lives on the line every day through such a conduct, they continue to carry out their businesses like this to simply make ends meet and support their children and families. This protest is not something that began recently. Newsfirst reported on the risks taken by these businessmen back in 2016. Is it not the duty of public representatives to construct a proper marketplace for these businessmen and their customers?
Up next is a report on the much-used fireworks during the festive season. Azrazan joins us from Peta, Colombo.
Back in the day, maybe it was a change in the weather or different sounds from the environment that brought us a message upon an approaching Sinhala Tamil New Year. But these days, it is the sound of the firecrackers that brings us the message and tells us that the Sinhala Tamil New Year is approaching. So we here at Newsfirst came to one of the most busiest towns in Sri Lanka to speak to those who sell firecrackers in the area.
Firecrackers, Nila, Ahaskuru, Bambara Chakra, Batto, Malvedi, all in all, are some famous fireworks mostly used during the festive season. Kimbalapitia in Negombo is famous for manufacturing these fireworks in Sri Lanka. Many locals in the area depend on this industry for their daily survival. The significant increase of the prices of raw materials have challenged the manufacturers.
Sometimes they say that there's no salt. Sometimes they hide it and they say that gunpowder is expensive. When the material costs increase, the prices increase.
Sellers claim that demand for these fireworks produced amidst much difficulty has decreased.
The stock we bought remains the same. We haven't sold anything at all. We don't have an opinion this time. We haven't brought anything for ourselves this year. Only if the business prospers, we will be able to celebrate the new year. People won't come. Even if they do, only a few will purchase something. We wonder why this happens. It is because the people don't have enough money. Those who normally purchase 4 to 5 packets of crackers this time only buy 1 or 2 packets. With all these expenses, people are left with very little money to spend on these things. It's anyways hard to do this business. the people don't have enough money. With the money they have, there are other important matters to be done.
ඊට වඩා වැඩ තියෙනවා. තියෙන ටිකෙන් කරගන්න ඊට වඩා වැඩ තියෙනවා.
During the past 2 years, we were able to reduce the number of accidents taking place due to firecrackers. So it is up to you during this festive season to be careful when dealing with firecrackers. So here's us wishing you a very happy Sinhala and Tamil New Year.
Those were the farmers in Vadinagala, Ampara. These farmers are trying their best to find remaining fruit in a cornfield that was completely destroyed by the Sena caterpillar menace. This is the unfortunate fate of corn farmers who were deprived of celebrating the New Year due to the Sena caterpillar menace.
The locals residing in the Damana zone in the Ampara district cultivated corn in 12,500 acres of land last season with high expectations, and celebrating the upcoming New Year was one of them. These farmers had sacrificed every cent of their wealth to their cultivation, as this was their only livelihood and they were compelled to do so. However, their hopes and dreams have been shattered with the devastation of their crops by the Sena caterpillar or the fall armyworm menace.
මේ වෙනකොට ණයවල් ගෙවා ගන්න කිසිම විදිහක් නැහැ. අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගෙදරක කිරි උතුරු වෙලා කිරි බත් ටිකක් හරි අපේ ළමයිට හදලා දෙන්න තිබුණා. අපේ මිනිස්සුන්ට ගෙවල් වල ඉන්න බැරි තත්ත්වයක් දැන් උදා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අපි අසන තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙලා ඉන්නේ. අවුරුද්දක් නාවන හොඳයි කියලා හිතන්නේ අපිට.
මේ බලන්න මහත්තයෝ. මේ වගේ විකුණලා අපි කොහොමද මේ ණය බේරන්නේ? හා? අපි අක්‍රේට මේ 3600 ගානේ මේ වන්දි මේ රක්ෂණ මුදල් ගෙවලා මේ රක්ෂණය කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ සත්ත පහක් අපිට මෙච්චර කාලයකට ලැබිලා
Despite the government's promise to provide compensation to farmers whose crops were destroyed by the Sena caterpillar, these farmers have not received a single cent.
අපි හිතුවා අවුරුද්දට දවසක් හරි කලින් මේ වන්දි මුදල් ටික මේ ගොවියට ගෙවයි කියලා. හැබැයි මේ වෙනකොට ඒ කිසිදු ගොවියෙකුට ගෙව්වේ නැහැ. ගොවියෝ මෙවට පිරිමි කට්ටිය බඩුන් ගොවියෝ ගෙවල හැංගිලා ඉන්නේ. මොකද ණයකාරයන්ගෙන් බේරෙන්න බැරුව. අපේ හෙන් ඉවරලා තියෙන්නේ මහත්තයෝ මේ අද වේල අපට කන්න නැතුව තමයි මේ ගමේ මිනිස්සු ජීවත් වෙන්නේ.
අවුරුද්දක් කියලා ආවා ළමයෙකුට අරන් අන්දන ඇඳුමක්වත් අරන් දෙන්න අපිට මේ සැරේ කියන්නේ විදිහක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. වන්දියක් දෙනකෝ වන්දි මුදල කිසිම වන්දි මුදලක් හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ.
The devastation caused by the Sena caterpillar, coupled with the government's fake promises of providing compensation to their losses, have deprived these children from celebrating the upcoming New Year. Every parent's hope is to give the maximum to their children, despite the difficulties they face.
The Sirasa Vasanta Udania is currently underway at the Dudley Sena Nayaka grounds in Hinguragoda, Polonnaruwa.
Sirasa Vasanta Udania.
The 2019 Sirasa Vasanta Udania commenced this morning together with the Sri Lankan Air Force. The inauguration ceremony was graced by Commander of the Sri Lankan Air Force, Air Marshal Kapila Jayampati, Group Director of Electronic Media Business at the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, Nidra Veerasinghe, and the CEO of MTV Channel Private Limited, Attorney at Law, Susara Dinal. The Vasanta Udania featured both cultural and sporting events. A number of sports that could be witnessed during the Aurudhu season made the Vasanta Udania more colourful.
Menushi Bandara! ඔබයි සිරසලියා ඩයමන්ඩ් වසන්ත කුමරිය ලෙස අභිසස් ගන්නවන්නේ
A musical show with the band Flashback will get underway at 9:30 p.m. tonight.
The Cabinet has granted approval to invest Rs 350 million for the integrated tourism digital plan targeting the 5 main sources of tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka.
The said program is expected to be conducted on a public-private partnership basis until the end of 2020 to promote Sri Lanka in the United Kingdom, France, Germany, China and India.
The system will be able to identify the profiles of all these visitors who will be entering, and then that will certainly help Sri Lanka tourism going forward to promote certain destinations and products and brands in line with the profile of each of these travelers. The estimated cost is around 350 million, but at this point of time, it is an estimate that we have done. It's not to say that the government will have to invest this money based on the negotiations we'll be doing with the potential partners. They might come forward to make this investment.
TNA parliamentarian S.V. Elendran convened a media briefing in Batticaloa.
The TNA supports the budget since 2015, but what have the UNP done to support them? They have even failed to open the paper manufacturing factory in Balachin. Arjun Mahendran, the suspect of the bond scam, is spending 450 billion to build an ethanol factory. Operations of that ethanol factory was halted, but the day before yesterday, I saw them continuing operations again. Although we have informed the government of this several times, nothing has been done yet.
Foundation stones were laid aiming to develop rural road facilities in the Hambantota district under the Samata 7 program.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa, laid the foundation stone to build a bridge connecting the villages of Walasmulla, Angulabada and Kirama. 34.2 million rupees have been allocated for this project. Visary loans were also provided for low-income families in line with the main event.
Usually, I don't encourage lending loans before the new year. However, I decided at this situation we should do this. So I kindly request that these loans be used to construct your houses this year and not for New Year celebrations. You should allocate this money for that. We are providing 200,000 rupees per family on a premium basis.
A Sri Lankan maid was sentenced to 6 months in prison by Dubai courthouse.
The Sri Lankan expatriate was found guilty of settling ablaze the vehicle belonging to the wife of her employee. The accused woman had rejected the accusations levelled against her. She had further stated in court that she simply attempted to put out the flames after she saw smoke coming out of the vehicle that was on fire. She also said that there was no way she could have put out the fire at that time, and added that a bottle of perfume inside the vehicle could have caused the fire. However, she was sentenced to 6 months in prison after she was convicted of the offence. Dubai media reported that the woman will be deported to Sri Lanka after the completion of her prison term. When we contacted the Foreign Employment Bureau, a senior officer at the bureau said that he does not possess any information on the incident as today is not a working day.
British counter-terrorism officers arrested 4 Sri Lankans at the Luton airport in London.
According to the BBC World Service, they were arrested on suspicion of being involved with a banned terrorist organisation. The group disembarked at the Luton airport on the 10th of this month and was arrested on the 11th this morning. The 4 men are being questioned at the police station at Bedfordshire, northeast of London. Identity of the suspects have not been ascertained and charges have not been filed against them as of yet. Foreign media reported that they are suspected of violating the Terrorism Act enacted in the United Kingdom in the year 2000.
Before we wrap up the news for tonight, let us all from the News First team wish everyone here at home and overseas a prosperous Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Take care and good night.